Welcome to Germany, a century of transformation, 1900 to 2000. This video explores Germany's journey from imperial dominance to a unified democratic state, covering major wars, economic crises, and cultural shifts that shaped modern Europe. In the early 20th century, Germany was Europe's industrial powerhouse, dominating steel and chemical production. Berlin flourished culturally with Expressionism and Modernism. However, rising nationalism and imperial ambitions created underlying political tensions. Europe was divided by the Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente, creating mutual suspicion. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in June 1914 triggered a cascade of events, transforming a regional issue into a continental war within weeks. World War I brought brutal trench warfare and massive casualties on the Western Front. On the home front, Allied blockades caused severe food shortages and social unrest. By November 1918, exhaustion and revolution forced Germany's surrender. The Treaty of Versailles required Germany to lose territory and pay impossible reparations of 132 billion gold marks, fueling widespread resentment. This led to economic collapse, with hyperinflation in 1923 destroying savings and driving political radicalization. The Weimar Republic, established in 1919, represented a democratic experiment with universal male suffrage. The 1920s saw a cultural golden age with movements like Bauhaus and jazz. However, proportional representation fragmented parliament, creating structural weaknesses. The 1929 stock market crash triggered an economic crisis, creating mass unemployment and desperation. This environment made extremist solutions appealing. Political polarization grew as communists and Nazis violently competed for power, destabilizing democracy. The Nazi Party rose to power by exploiting economic despair and nationalist sentiment. After being appointed chancellor in 1933, Hitler consolidated power by dismantling democratic institutions. By 1934, he established an absolute totalitarian dictatorship. The Nazi regime maintained control through sophisticated propaganda and the Gestapo's terror and surveillance. Hitler rapidly pursued militarization and territorial expansion, violating the Treaty of Versailles and testing international resolve. In World War II, Germany initially achieved blitzkrieg victories, conquering much of Europe by 1941. However, the invasion of the Soviet Union led to a grinding war of attrition. Most tragically, the Nazi Holocaust systematically murdered 6 million Jews and millions of others. The Allied invasion, starting with D-Day, squeezed Germany from east and west. By May 1945, Hitler committed suicide, and Germany surrendered unconditionally. The war ended, but the nation was left in ruins, divided and occupied. The Allies divided post-war Germany into 4 occupation zones. The country underwent denazification, removing Nazi ideology. Cities were devastated, infrastructure destroyed, and millions were left homeless amid economic ruin. The Soviet zone became East Germany in 1949, a communist dictatorship dominated by the Stasi secret police. Widespread repression drove millions to flee westward, leading to the construction of the Berlin Wall in 1961 to prevent escape. West Germany experienced the Wirtschaftswunder, an economic miracle driven by the Marshall Plan and industrial innovation. The Federal Republic established stable democratic institutions and integrated into NATO and the EU, fostering prosperity through a social market economy. Post-war Germany saw artistic renewal, with influential figures exploring trauma and memory in literature and film. Later, the 1960s and 70s brought youth rebellion, including student protests and radical groups like the Red Army faction, violently rejecting the authoritarian past. The Berlin Wall, built as a concrete barrier in August 1961, physically divided the city, separating families. This symbol of Cold War division led to desperate escape attempts, costing hundreds of lives. The fall of the Berlin Wall was hastened by Gorbachev's reforms of Glasnost and Perestroika, weakening communist control. On November 9, 1989, East German officials announced travel freedom, leading to a spontaneous demolition of the wall and joyous celebrations of reunification. German reunification, formalized on October 3, 1990, created a single democratic nation. Economic integration required massive investment in the East, though it proved challenging. Social reconciliation involved grappling with decades of separation and differing historical narratives. In the 1990s, Germany became a modern nation, establishing technological leadership in automotive engineering, software development, and renewable energy. It also anchored European integration, driving the expansion and stability of the European Union. Key figures shaped 20th century German history. Kaiser Wilhelm II's foreign policy contributed to World War I. Otto von Bismarck unified Germany. Adolf Hitler led the Nazi regime, causing World War II and the Holocaust. Konrad Adenauer rebuilt West German democracy. Germany's cultural legacy includes monumental classical music by composers like Beethoven and Wagner. In literature and philosophy, figures such as Goethe, Hegel, and Marx profoundly shaped European intellectual thought and tradition. The visual arts saw German Expressionism and the influential Bauhaus design movement revolutionize modern aesthetics. German cinema, including Expressionist and New German cinema, explored deep psychological and social themes, producing groundbreaking films. Germany's economic evolution included industrial dominance before World War I, followed by economic chaos in the 1920s and 30s. The 1950s saw the Wirtschaftswunder, or economic miracle. The 1990s involved integrating the Eastern economy while maintaining technological leadership. Germany's role in global politics evolved through the 20th century. Initially excluded, Germany sought rehabilitation in the League of Nations. Post-war, it was divided within the UN structure. Reunified, it became the economic and political anchor of the European Union. Germany's technological advancements include pioneering automotive innovation with companies like Mercedes-Benz and BMW. The chemical industry, led by giants like BASF and Bayer, revolutionized pharmaceuticals and industrial processes. German engineering is synonymous with excellence, precision, and quality in machinery and manufacturing. Furthermore, Germany played a key role in aerospace development, from early rocketry to modern space programs, demonstrating profound technical mastery. Germany led the Green Movement in the 1970s and 80s, establishing strong environmental regulations. It became a global leader in renewable energy, committing to the Energiewende, and is a model for sustainability with strict environmental standards. Germany's social movements include strong labor unions that established worker rights, co-determination, and social welfare systems. The women's rights movement advanced education, employment, and political participation for women throughout the century. The German educational system established the modern research university model and developed a dual vocational training system that is globally recognized. Universal compulsory education ensured a highly educated population, supporting economic competitiveness. Germany's healthcare system is rooted in the Bismarck model of social health insurance, based on employer and employee contributions. Post-war development led to comprehensive healthcare, with distinct systems in East and West Germany before reunification. Germany built Europe's most extensive and efficient railway network. The famous Autobahn highway system, started in the 1930s, symbolized German engineering. Major cities also developed sophisticated public transportation systems, integrating buses, trams, and subways. Germany's tourism industry thrives on historical sites, including castles and medieval towns, and cultural attractions like world-class museums and theaters. Natural landscapes, such as the Black Forest and the Rhine Valley, also attract visitors, alongside global events like Oktoberfest. Germany made profound contributions to science. In physics, Max Planck and Albert Einstein established quantum mechanics and relativity. German chemists pioneered organic chemistry, while physicians advanced surgery and microbiology, establishing modern medical science. Germany's military evolved from imperial militarism before World War I to the restrictions of the Weimar Republic. This was followed by massive Nazi militarization leading to World War II, and finally, the divided militaries of the Cold War and the unified Bundeswehr. German media, including newspapers, magazines, and radio, shaped public discourse. The television era began in the 1950s, with public broadcasting becoming central to German life for news and entertainment. In team sports, Germany has achieved football excellence, winning multiple World Cups and European championships. German athletes also demonstrated Olympic success, particularly during the separate Cold War eras of East and West Germany. Individual excellence is seen in winter sports like alpine skiing and bobsleigh, which produced world-class champions. German athletes like Boris Becker and Steffi Graf also achieved global prominence in tennis and other individual sports. Germany faced immense challenges, including the wars and destruction of the two world wars, which killed millions. Repeated economic crises, such as hyperinflation and depression, created hardship, compounded by political instability from Weimar's collapse to Cold War division. Germany achieved cultural and intellectual excellence in music, literature, and philosophy, despite political turmoil. After post-war devastation, economic recovery and innovation helped Germany rebuild into Europe's economic powerhouse. In the 21st century, Germany maintains democratic stability and prosperity, committed to human rights and cooperation. It provides European leadership as the EU's largest economy and political anchor. Its history offers crucial lessons on democracy and reconciliation. Germany's integration into Western institutions anchored European stability. Its economic engine drives European growth. Germany's commitment to multilateralism and democratic values shapes European policy and integration. Germany's history teaches how economic despair and nationalism can undermine democracy, and how reconciliation can rebuild trust. Its transformation from division to reunification offers lessons for societies facing conflict and working to build shared futures. Thank you for exploring Germany's remarkable century of transformation. From imperial power through division to democratic reunification, its history offers enduring lessons about democracy, responsibility, and human resilience.